Hey guys, and welcome back to another pickups video. So before we get right into the pickups, I just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. I want to remind you about the Beeps and Bloops podcast. We are recording another episode tonight, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on Kaz's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Canadian Cafe, where we are live and you can interact with us. But then of course, if you want to catch the video on demand later, it's usually up by Thursday afternoon on my second channel, NerdCrave Plus. Check out NerdCrave Plus. Go there and subscribe if you would, because the podcast lives there, but then I also use that channel for stuff that doesn't really fit here, so I've got some interesting little passion projects that I will be putting up there as time goes on, so definitely check that out. Subscribe if you would. Anyways, on to the pickups. Alright, so the first thing I got here, not really a pickup per se, but that is the latest issue of Nintendo Force. Now, if you're not familiar with this magazine and you're going, oh my gosh, a video gaming magazine in 2021? Well, yeah, this is actually, from what I understand, designed by some of the people who used to work at Nintendo Power, and this magazine is a tribute to Nintendo Power. So, let's see if I can show you here. It's, it's just like getting an old Nintendo Power in your hands in 2021. The spirit, it's even got comics and stuff like that, like the Nintendo Powers used to. These are available to subscribe on Patreon, and you can subscribe and just get one issue. They're about $5 or $6, I think, Canadian, maybe a little bit more, $5 US or something. So, a lot of fun. I've been subscribing to these for a while. I would highly recommend it if you're interested in reliving that experience of getting a physical magazine in your hands. I think they do about 8 issues a year. But moving on into the pickup. So I got a bunch of Switch, DS, and 3DS stuff here. A little bit of PSP stuff. So let's get right into the first thing. Now, I've been talking for a while. I mentioned on the podcast last week or the week before that you need to let friends and family members know about the things that you are passionate about. If you collect video games, don't keep it a secret. Let everybody know around you that you collect video games. So my elderly cousin, she's approaching 80 years old. Somebody, her grandkids or something gave her a DS 10 years ago to maybe help keep her mind sharp or whatever. But she doesn't use it anymore. She asked me if I would like it because she'd seen some of my videos and she knows I'm into this stuff. So I was absolutely pleased to grab a complete in-box Nintendo DS Lite. You can see here it works just fine. I've got new Super Mario Brothers loaded up in it. It's in virtually mint condition to the point where she'd never even used the stylus. So inside the box, the stylus was still wrapped in plastic. It's got all the inserts and manuals and everything in here. So really cool addition to my handheld collection. And then something else along the same vein, I have a friend who likes to go thrift store hunting and check out things that I might like. And he found a huge lot. I don't know whether a store was getting rid of some excess stock or what, but PSP 1000 chargers. He actually picked up 7 of them for me, brand new in box. So I have 7 PSP 1000 chargers, brand new in box. So you can see there's a few more behind me over here. And then 1 PSP Go charger, completely new in box. This one is actually an official Sony charger, whereas the other ones I think are cleverly disguised third-party chargers. But nonetheless, for $5 a piece, I would say that's a pretty good score. Alright, so let's just move into some Switch pickups now. So, something I've been real excited for a long time. I've never been able to play this game because I do not own a PS4 and do not have any intention of owning a PS4 anytime soon. And that is Ni no Kuni 2. Now, I've never been able to play this game. I absolutely love the first Ni no Kuni, and Ni no Kuni 2 was one of the reasons why I did intend eventually to get a PS4, was just to play this and a couple other games that I couldn't get anywhere else. Well, it was ported to Switch recently. It just came out last week. I pre-ordered it, and I'm pretty excited to play it. Another Switch game here. This one I've heard Happy Console Gamer mention several times, and that is Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. I used to love the Alex Kidd games back on the Master System. I believe this one comes with some bonus content. I've still got this sealed right now. I haven't had a chance to get into it yet. But definitely, from the sounds of it, it's going to be a great game. And then I recently picked up Cotton Reboot. Now, I had thought this was coming from Strictly Limited or Super Rare or one of those companies. I'd seen it all over my Facebook, pre-order now, and I just happened to stumble across this in a game store, so I'm not quite sure what the situation is on the availability of this game, whether I got lucky or whether it was never all that rare in the first place. But the Cotton Reboot is, this is an old shoot-'em-up, or specifically a cute-'em-up, that I'm pretty excited to play. I love cute-'em-ups especially, and a lot of the bullet hell sort of thing. I'm not really all that good at them, but I sure as heck love them. And then a game that had a bunch of controversy a couple of weeks back, and that is Sonic Colors Ultimate. Now, this comes in a nice little box with, of course, you've got the game, and it's got some kind of, keychain or something in here. Little Sonic the Hedgehog Baby Sonic keychain. Kind of cute. Nothing really special, but you know what? For all the controversy about this game being broken and graphically terrible and blah, 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 you know what? This plays exactly as well as you would expect a Switch game to play. The controls are fine. The graphics are fine. Maybe they're not mind-blowing, but they're fine. I don't understand what everybody was upset about. Yes, this did have a little bit of a day one patch, but it was 2 megabytes or something. It updated in 12 seconds. So, it's not like they massively overhauled the game, 2 days before launch because of the controversy or something. It's fine. It was always fine. So, take that for what you will if you are on the fence about buying Sonic Colors Ultimate. And then one more Switch game here, and I'm a little bit embarrassed about this, actually, but I guess you can't know everything. One of my favorite games on the PS3 is Akiba's Strip, Undead and Undressed. Now, when I saw this on the shelf, this being Akiba's Strip on Switch, a 10th Anniversary Edition, I thought, cool, I'd love to play that game again. I grabbed it. Well, it turns out, if you look at the byline here, it's Hellbound and Debriefed, a different game entirely that I did not know existed. Apparently, this is the PSP game that came before the PS3 game. I'm not sure whether they're directly connected or exactly what, but if I'm not out to left field, I'm pretty sure this PSP game never came out in North America, and that's why I never heard about it. It was a Japanese exclusive. So I'm not really sure what the deal is in terms of the English audio and that sort of thing, whether they did a voiceover or a translation or localization just for this 10th Anniversary Edition. But this is a nice little box set too, as you can see here. Comes with a nice little art book here. Nice art book. Some pretty nice stuff inside. And then it comes, of course, with the game, which is still sealed. I haven't checked this out yet. And, of course, a soundtrack. And this is really what I like to see in any kind of special edition. Give me an art book, give me a soundtrack, keep the pins and key chains and all that nonsense. Keep that stuff. I don't want it. I just want a good art book and a good soundtrack. So that's it for the Switch stuff. Moving into some PSP stuff. Nothing crazy here. I picked up Rainbow Six Vegas. Never played a Rainbow Six game. I got interested in the series around E3 with the announcement of Rainbow Six Extraction, which looks super cool. So I thought I would check out a random $5 Rainbow Six game and see what I was getting into. And then another PSP game here. I love Sid Meier's Civilization, so I thought this might be fun to check out on the PSP. Sid Meier's Pirates. I like that kind of simulation genre. So I think I paid $7.99 for it. Definitely worth checking out. And then a game I paid a little bit more money for, and I actually own this already on the Nintendo Wii, but as I am moving more and more towards focusing on my handheld collection, I wanted to pick this up for the PSP as well, and that is Metal Slug Anthology. Now, if you've never played a Metal Slug game, it is absolutely a fantastic fit on a handheld console. They are side-scrolling. I can't even describe exactly. I mean, shoot 'em up, beat 'em up. I mean, you're shooting guns. You've got little, cars and tanks and things that you can get into from time to time. And you're shooting up and sideways and frontwards, and you're platforming at times. And they're fantastic, fantastic games. And this includes a whole bunch of them: Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug X, Metal Slug 3, 4, 5, and 6. So a whole bunch of great games on here to choose from, and I'm really going to enjoy that on my PSP. And then the last game that I have here for the PSP, Dreamcast Guy did a top 10 list of his top 10 PSP games on the platform, and one of the ones near the top of the list was God of War, Chains of Olympus. He says this game is fantastic. I've actually never really played a God of War game. I mean, I messed around a little bit with a couple of the PS2 games, but never really committed to them. So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out on the PSP, and I'll let you know how I like it later on. So moving into the last stack of games that I have here today, and that is 3DS and DS. So I was at my local thrift store, or sorry, not thrift store, drugstore, actually. I picked this up on clearance at a drugstore, and that is Super Mario Maker 3DS. Now, I got my fair amount of enjoyment out of Mario Maker on the Wii U. I'm not a huge fan, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit more fun in the casual environment of a handheld to just design a couple of quick levels, play through it, just have a couple of laughs and move on. I feel like this is the perfect sort of thing for a handheld console. So I'm going to give this a try and see, but for $20 brand new on clearance, I couldn't resist. A game that I picked up randomly on Amazon. I was buying like coffee and cereal or something like that, and this just popped up as a recommendation. I guess advertising does work, and that is Sega Genesis 3D Classics Collection. Now, none of these are 3D. I mean, you can use the 3D slider, I suppose, on the 3DS, but these are all Genesis games for the most part. I think there's one Master System game on here. What's unique about this is there are 1,000,001 Sega Genesis collections out there. I've got one for the Switch. I've got one for the PS3. I've got one, I've got stuff on the PS2 and the GameCube, like Sonic Mega Collections with all these various, Sonic games and different Genesis games, beat 'em ups, Streets of Rage, all that kind of stuff. You see them over and over and over again. The Sega mini consoles, like, they're everywhere. But this particular little game here has some games you don't normally see on any of those collections, including quite a few. We've got Altered Beast, which you do see sometimes. Puyo Puyo 2, you don't see all that much. And then there is Fantasy Zone 2, which I've never seen on one of those collections before. And Fantasy Zone is a really fun, shoot 'em up, cute 'em up sort of a scenario. So, and then we've got Galaxy Quest, Maze Walker, quite a few. Power Drift. Power Drift is actually pretty cool. And a lot of these games you don't see on any of those other collections. So, for $20, guys, if you see this out and about on Amazon, pick this up because it's actually got some good stuff to play on there. Moving over to the DS, a game that I am enjoying a lot more than I thought I would. And there's a lot of people that say this is one of the worst Zeldas out there, Zelda Phantom Hourglass, simply because they thought the controls were terrible with the stylus. This game heavily relies on the stylus to move, to attack, to select items. Like, you do everything with the stylus. And you know what? I'm actually enjoying it. It seems super intuitive actually, and it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this at least as much as I would enjoy Link's Awakening on the Switch. The graphics are beautiful. Don't sleep on this game, guys. I picked this up for like 40 bucks. It's one of the cheaper retro Zelda games to play, and just because you use the stylus, don't overlook this game, because once you get used to those controls, this is a brilliant and charming game that shouldn't be missed. Another DS game that I have here that I picked up mostly on a whim. My local sale had a buy one get one free sale going on, so I picked up Tom Clancy's End War. And this is basically an overhead kind of strategy game. I love games like that. Reminds me of things like Command and Conquer or something like that. You've got like a military strategy sort of a situation. The graphics are really cute, iconic DS-looking graphics. And, I'm gonna enjoy this. You really shouldn't sleep on these cheap DS games, because there are a lot of games out there that you can pick up for $3 to $5 that are just fantastic. Here's a couple more that Kaz, my son, highly recommends, and that is the Spectrobe series. We got Spectrobes 1 and Spectrobes Beyond the Portals. So, excellent games to check out. Very Pokemon-like, but designed by Disney. Outer space sort of a theme, so really interesting games to check out. And then another one of those cheap $5 games. I actually got this from my elderly cousin. That is Big Brain Academy. That is the one game that she played on the DS that she gave me. You can find these games everywhere. I usually overlook these games, but there's still some fun to be had with these things, even if they are everywhere for $3. And then a bigger game that I actually picked up, Tark's Gauntlet says this is one of the best JRPGs on the system, and that is Tales of the Abyss. Now, I haven't played this yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to anything that Tark says is a good game. I'm going to pick up and check out. I think I paid $50 for this, give or take, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing that. Now, with all of the buzz around Metroid Dread, I hadn't really played a modern Metroid game, so I wanted to check out the most recent flavor of Metroid, and that is Metroid Samus Returns, which I was able to find brand new sealed for about $50 or $55, which I thought was a pretty good deal for brand new sealed. I have put this in, I have checked it out. It is really beautiful, it looks great on the 3DS. It definitely gets right into the challenge and difficulty right off the get-go. So I'm definitely going to have to put a little bit of effort in to beat that, with Metroid Dread coming out in about a week and a half. So, and then the last game I have here, I picked this up because I had picked up the second game a couple of months ago when it launched, and that was Monster Hunter Stories 2. And I've been enjoying that game, so I went out and picked up Monster Hunter Stories number 1 on the 3DS. This was a little harder to find, and this is the most expensive game I think I have here to show you today. I think I had to pay about $80 for this. Now, I haven't started playing this because I'm still playing Monster Hunter Stories 2, and, I'm pretty interested to see how that ends. As far as I know, the stories are not really connected, so there shouldn't be any problem going back to the first one afterwards. Anyways, guys, that's it. That's everything I've got. Thanks so much for sticking around with me to the end. If you're still here, you're awesome. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and hit that like button on the way out if you would. It helps out a ton, gets this video out in front of more eyeballs, which is a good thing for me and helps me to be motivated to make more great content for you. So anyways, guys, thanks so much. Stay classy.